Good morning, everyone, and welcome to 15 Minutes with Lori. I hope you all had a nice weekend. As you may have seen in our messages over the weekend and this morning, I have a guest this morning with me. We're going to talk about some really good stuff and how community can be a benefit to you. So welcome, Josh Kahn. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Yeah, thank you.
Good. So, Josh, when did you start real estate?
I kind of started twice. I started a long time ago, probably early 2000s. I first got a real estate license right out of high school. My father said I'm not coming to Coldwell Banker Premier Group at the time, so he told me to go to a Coldwell Banker Gundaker office just to see if it's something I really wanted to do. So I didn't. I failed miserably, and then I got into other stuff, and then I got back into real estate. 2009, and then I came back to Coldwell Banker Premier Group, and that's really where I started my career at Coldwell Banker Premier Group. So 2009, I think.
Well, good, fantastic. And why did you decide to get into real estate other than your father telling you to get into real estate?
I mean, they were really kind of silly, superficial reasons. I had some family members that rented, as you mentioned, and I don't know. I thought it would be easy money. I really wasn't sure what else to do. I had been in other jobs that were, sales jobs where I was earning commissions, and it just seemed like if I was going to, be working for a commission type job, that real estate would make the most sense. So, just kind of a myriad of reasons.
Well, good. So you said you thought it would be easy money, was it?
Yeah, no. In fact, it was more like no money for a very long time. So no,
Yeah.
Not easy at all.
What kind of challenges did you face when you began?
Well, I mean, I think the first one is you get into it because you want to work for yourself, but I think a lot of people have no direction and they really don't know what to do. And I think Coldwell Banker Premier Group actually does a really good job at training, but you still have to apply that, and I remember leaving these training sessions with Norm at the time, and back then it was a little different. I mean, I think that we were still making a lot of phone calls and door knocking and stuff like that, and that's kind of what I did at first, and that was really tough. I mean, I had a little bit of success with it, but getting up every day and having to make phone calls, just trying to figure out how am I supposed to get people to contact me or even know that I'm in real estate, that was really tricky. And I think you deal with a lot of different emotions. It's like a real roller coaster when you're trying to get started in real estate. So I don't even know that I can pinpoint the first problem with me trying to get started in real estate. I feel like there were thousands of them. I didn't even know where to start.
Yeah, well, that's true for everyone. And thank you for sharing that, because as a top producing team for the entire company, I'm sure that, you went through the exact same things that everybody else has gone through when they began. So when did you finally realize you were going to be successful in this business? How long did that take?
Well, I know everyone, Katie hates me. I don't think I am successful. So I'll first start with that. I mean, I think that's very nice of everyone to say. I still feel like we have a ton of work to do, but I think we when I first started selling individually, because this was before I had a team, and it's not really a team, it's more like a partnership, because it's really Katie and I. We tried to bring other people in, it just didn't work. But I mean, when I first started on my own, I felt like the appointments I was going on, I didn't feel confident enough in myself to really feel like I was going to win those listings without doing one of two things. Either one, I was going to lower my commission, which we all know how much that's not a great idea, right? But I didn't really know how to compete. And I also felt like I was losing listings at the time to, once again, I felt like maybe teams or maybe women were having a more effective way to communicate with the people I was dealing with. I wasn't sure. So then Katie and I partnered up in 2013. I thought maybe that would be the answer, to have, kind of a guy and a girl go in a team approach. And that didn't work either. So I think we tried a lot of things for many years, and some of them were very old school, like the door knocking, like canvassing certain areas. And then I think I got to a point where I had listened to, if you ask 10 different agents how they're successful in real estate, you're going to hear 10 different answers. And I think at some point I just decided that, only one thing I knew how to do well was going to, I thought, bring me success. So instead of doing 10 things, I really started focusing on one thing, and I just kind of stayed the course. And that's the first time I really applied myself in real estate to where I'm going to focus on this one thing. So instead of doing expireds or trying to work FSBOs or trying to do whatever it is that people try to do during business in real estate, I decided to focus on one thing. And instead of worrying that it wasn't bringing me business in 2 to 3 months and switching directions like I used to do. I just stuck with it, and it took a while, but I mean, sticking with one thing and doing it really well is what really made a difference for us anyway.
I'm glad you brought that up, because we do talk about in our training about, you don't have to do everything, but you have to do something, and you've got to
Right.
find that niche, right? So once you find that niche, then you can run with it.
You can, and it's going to be different for everybody. I mean, I know a lot of people that make money. I mean, I always look at Stacy Deutschman. I mean, she does TikTok and she does really well at it. And I think TikTok is silly. Like, I don't even have the app, but it's hard to argue with her results. I mean, everybody's going to have something that works. You just have to figure out what you're comfortable with and what you're good at. And I think that's what you should stick with, if regardless of what you're doing in life.
So I think I know what that one thing is, but I'm going to have you talk about it. But I know some of the audience today and those out there may or may not be familiar with your Eureka community page
Sure.
on Facebook. And obviously I follow it, and talk a little bit about it and why you got it started, and let the audience know that that's not your business page, but if you wouldn't mind talking
Sure.
a little bit about why you created that.
Well, so we actually went to a training seminar that Coldwell Banker did, Coldwell Banker Premier Group, and it was an agent who had been using Facebook in not a way we do now. He was basically telling us how he had his own, like the Kahn Bus real estate page. There's a real estate social media page. And he's like, you really should be using social media to leverage. And I'm thinking, okay, I mean, I had social media, so we started that direction, but two things happened at that point. The first is we were relatively new to the Eureka community. I grew up in Wildwood. I moved here in like 2011, didn't really get out and meet anybody till probably 2013 or 14. So we were new in a community where Eureka's kind of like Washington a little bit. I think that a lot of people have deep roots here. There was real estate offices that had a stronghold in the area. Like, we weren't old school Eureka, and we weren't necessarily welcome in the real estate, community here. So, one of two things happened. The first is we moved to Eureka, and I couldn't figure out what was going on because the city was so far behind in whatever they were doing. Their website was horrible. They didn't really have social media. So the first thing I did is I said, okay, well, I'm going to start a social media page because, we had a 9-month-old at the time. We just didn't know what to do. So I'm like, okay, well, there's something going on at the Timbers. There's something going on in Eureka, whatever it was. That was kind of the first reason I started a Eureka page. It didn't have a lot to do with real estate. So at the same time, I started a real estate social media page because of that training. But I think anybody who has friends who are in real estate, like in my opinion, the most annoying thing you'll see, and I'm guilty of it too, is every single post you see is how amazing the real estate agent is. Congrats on your next commission check. Congrats on that selfie of you by your Mercedes. It's just a bunch of bragging. I mean, I'm sorry, but real estate agents pat themselves on the back more than anybody in the world. So I started to think to myself, how could the general public really get into this kind of stuff? Why would you follow a real estate page unless A, you're looking for a house, or B, you're related or you're supporting that real estate agent? It just didn't make sense to me. So what we started to do is indirectly market through the community. So I didn't abandon the Con and Bus real estate page that I had on Facebook, but I really started to work more on the Eureka one. And I said, okay, well, let's do this indirectly. So for a long time, we stopped talking about real estate. We started talking about the community. So instead of saying, I'm Josh, this is Katie, you should hire us to sell your house, knowing full well that 95% of the time, most people aren't considering looking for a real estate agent, we started focusing on things that were either going on in the community, maybe these really cool historic events that happened in Eureka that nobody really knew about, maybe the fact that Michelle's, which isn't here anymore, was down on Central and they had really good Eggs Benedict. We really started focusing on that. So instead of posting about real estate, 95% of our content was the Eureka community, why we love it, why we live here, it's got low crime, great school district, and that started to gain traction after a while. I mean, it took a few years. Then we started incorporating real estate because we already had the followers. So now we have a situation where we've grown a community page, and it's massive. I mean, I think I had 5 million people reach this month, and that's normal, like for us right now. We've got 48,000 dedicated followers on there. We've monetized it to the fact where I get paid now for posting content. Just like, I mean, I posted something about the Eureka football team and I got paid out $3.50 in 3 weeks because of it. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but we're now earning, I just started doing this like $500 to $750 every couple of weeks just by posting content, which then I'm funneling back in to our real estate marketing. But really what we do real estate wise, I always joke around, Katie handles a lot of our office work. I post pictures of food. That's what I do. I basically go around Eureka and I talk to people and I promote the community, and that directly results in real estate transactions for us. So we've been marketing ourselves more as community advocates. And then people got to know us because my name is behind everything as the people that support Eureka. So why would you not call us? And then we could change the conversation after a few years of that to not just say, hey, we're also real estate agents, so we're the top real estate agents. And then I had a medium to share that. So now what we do is, whether it's fair or not, is we really corner a lot of the social media market. There's plenty of real estate agents that still do business in Eureka, but we sell more volume than any of them. And it's been that way since 2019, but it's really been because we're focused on the community and not really ourselves.
When you post the food on there, it makes me want to run to that restaurant and eat it. And I've noticed you've kind of gone outside of Eureka too a little bit with some of the businesses that you've visited, haven't you?
We do. I mean, and it works, and it gets out to a lot more people than just Eureka. And we only have so much here. I mean, it's a small town. We've got 3 Mexican restaurants. I don't know how much I can post about it. So every time we go out a little bit off the beaten path, whether that's Washington or whether that's, the wineries, or I like to get out and explore stuff. So, I mean, I try to post things that are owned by small businesses, and then those people see those, and keep in mind, they're sharing your content. So, I mean, if I'm posting about how great, either a restaurant or a venue or something is that's 25, 30 miles from Eureka, it's reciprocated, and then they start appreciating us as well. So yeah, there's really, just because it's a Eureka page doesn't mean I have to keep it in Eureka, but most of it is grounded in the Eureka community.
Right. Well, that's good. And so let me ask you this, how much community posting, like what percentage versus any of your real estate postings?
Well, so the Eureka page is basically, there's never anything directly posted on the Eureka page that has to do with real estate. The only thing, what I do is I'll take my, we do, since now, I don't want to get too ahead of myself here. Since the Eureka page is so big now, what that helps me with is I can share my other pages, and it helps grow their size. So since I have this large Eureka page, basically what I do is it's Eureka, 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 but when Kahn and Bus Real Estate has something they want to share, now whether that's a funny meme or a new listing for sale, I cross post on the Eureka page. So it's not like Eureka posted this, it's you're sharing it from the Kahn and Bus team. And I still remember really early on when we did this page, I remember getting a message from a real estate agent on the Eureka page, and they said, hey, it'd be nice if you shared some other real estate agents listings, because the Kahn and Bus Real Estate team isn't the only team in Eureka. And I kind of laughed and I said, yeah, well, this is my page. I'm Josh Kahn. And they never really responded back. So, I mean, I don't think people even realized that I was behind it for a long time. Now I think most people do, because I've put a lot of myself into that Eureka page.
Yeah. And I encourage everybody to follow the page. It's very interesting. And, there's so much to offer, as far as the festivals. It makes me want to go to the festivals in Eureka. It makes me want to go to the restaurants. I mean, it just really does draw you in, because it's not real estate related, but there is some part of it that is. So, how much business did you do last year, Josh, you and your team?
I always think, I don't know, I never know overall, but I really know Eureka. Like we do have some closings outside of Eureka, but 90%, but we average between 20 to 25 million just in the 63025 area. And we have pretty consistently for the last several years, actually.
Yeah, and kudos to you and your team for that. And what's interesting, in the beginning of our conversation, you had mentioned that you don't consider yourself successful. That's a successful agent right there. Whenever I ask the top agents, how are you doing with business? They always say, I can do more. And that is a successful agent. So,
just eternally unhappy, maybe one of the two.
Yeah, that's right. So we've got one more minute. Does anybody have any questions or comments? I saw Bill unmute himself.
No, I'm here.
Yeah. So do you have any comments or questions, Bill?
No, I think Josh does a really good job, and he points out a good thing. He's promoting the community, not real estate. And if you look at other agents out there, they're on their Facebook, they're always promoting just sold or stuff like that about what they've done. So Josh hits you right on the point. Promote the community, and the community will follow you.
Well, that's exactly. I mean, I get people that ask me all the time. Once again, I don't know why they ask me. I want to get into real estate. What's your advice? And I say, don't. Like, it's a really tough job. But I always think if you're going to get into real estate, like the 50,000 other people that have real estate licenses in Missouri, like if you're going to get into it and you're going to do the same thing as everybody else, then just save yourself the headache and like get a regular job. I mean, it's impossible. I think you have to picture, if somebody picked me up right now and dropped me off in the middle of an area, I don't know, like the middle of Utah, and I never met anybody, the first thing I'd do is I'd go to the internet, I'd start looking on there for ways to really involve myself in the community. I mean, I don't know what else, I don't know what other angle to take at this point other than to really separate yourself from everyone else. I mean, if we want to buy, listen, I don't want to buy cars every day, so I don't follow car salesmen. I mean, if I follow a car salesman and all they post about is the Chevy Malibu that they sold last week. You're not going to follow them. You have to create something interesting. And if most of your content is interesting, they'll stick with you through the real estate posts. But if it's 100% real estate generated, I don't think people are going to be interested. That's just my honest opinion. I'm not, and I'm a real estate agent.
Yeah, yeah. And you're right. And I think getting involved with your community so they get to know you is just vital. Norm, are there any? Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry, Larry.
I was going to ask Norm if he had any comments this morning.
Well, I advised Josh not to do this, but
he didn't really. I mean,
he proved me wrong. But he has really taken it to the next level, he and Katie. So I would listen to his words of advice. I think if you try to do too many things to too many people, you're not going to make inroads. But if you can set up a plan like they have and follow that plan, you will be successful in this business.
Yeah,
I agree, and I think it just takes some of the challenge and some of the clouding in your head out of the equation too. I mean, get rid of all the other things. You don't have to do 10 things, just do one. And if it's going to be open houses, then do open houses and do that better than everybody else. But you just have to find something that you can do consistently that you think is better than everyone else. Like I would challenge, every year I say I don't feel like I'm successful because I really think that as soon as we relax, somebody's going to try to come for us and try to take our territory. But I think as long as you're doing all the right things and you consistently do it, I think you're going to be fine. I mean, but yeah, I wouldn't fall into the trap of doing the same thing everybody else is, because I think you're just going to be one of many. And honestly, what value you're bringing people if you don't really specialize in a certain area or a certain location? I mean, you're just one of everybody else.
Well, Josh, I think that all of your discussion today was very valuable to everyone. And I truly, truly appreciate you taking the time to join us today. I know you're a busy person, so we're going to let you go. If anybody has any questions, reach out anytime. But again, thank you again, Josh. For those of you who want to join me for my Leaders Edge coaching today at the Big Bend office, it begins at 11 o'clock. Just come on in and we'll sit in the conference room. It's a great program. I know several of you have been joining me. So, and then Katie Helms is going to be here at the office tomorrow for LinkedIn. Everyone is invited. That's at 10 o'clock tomorrow. She's going to help agents focus on the LinkedIn platform. So everybody have a great day and we will see you later.
All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Josh.
All right. Thank you.